Welcome to Drumm Farm Center for Children. I'm Adam Wright, Director of Donor Engagement. You know, Drumm's seen a lot of changes since 1919, but one constant has been a commitment to not only helping area youth find their path to successful adulthood, but feeling like they truly belong and they have a seat at the table in the process. Every success story begins first and foremost with the youth we serve. It is their life. And it's their drive and desire to create something out of the rubble that's been thrown at them that even allows us to talk about the successes that we see here. We ask a lot of the young adults that come to Drumm, meeting with counselors to instill positive mental health practices, working with the education team to ensure everyone graduates high school, attending group sessions to focus on life skills like financial literacy and building meaningful relationships, and checking in with case managers to ensure they are getting to school, jobs, job interviews, and more. A lot goes on from the time that youth arrive at Drumm to the time they depart, ready to take on the world. I think Andrew and Cordelia Drumm would be proud of the success stories. 95% of Compass youth moved from Drumm to safe and stable housing in 2023, and 146 youth were served in the street outreach program alone. And I hope Drumm supporters are aware of the impact that they are having as well, because as much of the success stories are due to the hard work of the youth we serve, none of those program services would be accessible without the support of our community. We spend so much time focusing on the needs at hand that not a lot is talked about the aftercare of our program and what life looks like for youth once they're out on their own. Where are they now? What are they up to? We're excited to share with you just a few of these success stories.
I was a resident here at Drumm Farm for the past 4 years, and as of now, I'm currently living on my own in my own space. Before I came to Drumm, I was all over the place, all over the Kansas City metro area. So I was in foster care since birth, so that's something I have experienced. And when I came to Drumm, it was pretty much me settling down and getting the opportunity to grow into an adult and go out on my own and be successful. The people here are always positive. Every time I meet them, sometimes I'm not the most positive person, but when you walk into a space and you walk around people who are positive, it kind of rubs off on you over the years. And being here for 4 years and interacting with them, it kind of rubbed off on me to where I can, walk in the room and be as positive as they want to. The first day I left to go to my space, it was a little emotional, but I did have support from Drumm. Just because I leave doesn't mean I don't have their support anymore. They're always there to help. And that's why I still currently work here, because I enjoy being around them. And, I've got used to it. So it's not really me leaving and cutting ties. It's just me, being on my own and getting that space and starting an identity for myself. At Drumm, I do bake, cook, and help plan the events and set those events up. So if you see me working, say hi. I will be working, I'll be on the clock. So I do crochet, and so that's also available at our market, which is something they're also supporting, which is a brand that, I want to build for myself. And that will be available at the market on Saturdays from 9 to 2. One of the things that impressed me the most about Drumm is the consistency through the staff and their positive nature that they have, and their willingness to help people when they need help and give when they can give. So it's not, and that's just not me leaving too. Like, this is something that is still going as I transition into my own space. I'm still getting that support as well. But the consistency matters, because being in a foster system, you lack consistency in your life. So when you get to a point where you meet consistent people and they're there for you, it brings a feeling that you've never had before, but it's a feeling that you need. And that's a way that it helped me grow in that way.
I'm Noah Black. I'm a graduate of the Compass program. I graduated in 2020, and I was a part of Compass for almost 3 years. I'm a paraprofessional at Rainbow Center for Communicative Disorders in Blue Springs, and I work with kids who have disabilities. I came to Drumm in 2017, and I was in a homeless situation. At the time, before I came, I had moved from 3 different states in 3 months. I think it's important for every community to be aware of youth homelessness and be aware of what goes on with it. And I just hope that there are more organizations like Drumm that can help young adults who are in a homeless situation or they're aging out of foster care and need a jump start. Like when I was here, like I was like learning how to be an adult and also working on the trauma from like being homeless and yeah, and now I feel like I have a grip on adulthood. You know, I'm doing everything that a typical adult does in their daily life and being able to take care of myself and just move on from the struggles that I had from when I first moved here.
My name is Maria Stiles. I'm a former resident of Drumm Farm. I used to be a part of the Compass program and I lived on the Duval campus. And I lived there from December 2021 to August 2022, and I've been living on my own for about 2 years now. When I was 17 years old, I had a fallout with my parents and they kicked me out of my house. And it started out really challenging. I really had nowhere to go for about a couple weeks. I was just staying the night temporarily from friend's house to friend's house. And then I went to my school counselor at my high school and I told her my situation. I just remember I was like breaking down crying and I just felt like I had no way out. Like I just saw no light at the end of the tunnel. I felt like I was out of options. And she introduced me to Drumm Farm. The next day I had his name was Ben. He came up and he talked to me and got to know a little bit about my situation, and he kind of gave me a little bit of hope that there was that light at the end of the tunnel. He told me about Drumm Farm. It just kind of seemed unreal at the time. I was like, okay, there's really this place that I can go that will help steer me in the right direction, that, you know, I'll have that independency in some respects where I can at least finish out high school and kind of get my life together and still feel safe. I think youth homelessness is a lot more common than people think. It's very easy to end up in that situation, and I know a lot of people. I knew personally some people that had similar circumstances and just ended up living with a friend, but that's not something that you can rely on, and that's not something that everybody can do. Some people end up living in their cars and living in hotels, and I think another thing to acknowledge is like homelessness is a very prominent problem in general in the United States. Like plenty of people are just like one unfortunate event from becoming homeless. And so for me, it wasn't something I expected at all. It really impacted me because when I was a freshman and sophomore, I was a straight A student. I was in several different extracurriculars. I had a job, and then one falling out with my parents, and it was all taken away from me. I didn't know how to take care of myself, and within seconds, I had all of that taken away. I had to figure out how to survive on my own. I had to figure out where I'm gonna lay my head at night. I had to figure out how to survive financially, how to manage my own finances, how I was going to get to school every day. It was a lot at once, and not only that, but you're also dealing with the circumstance of feeling alone because you don't have your family to turn to. You don't have the support from anybody. So it's a combination of things. It's the lack of resources, like physically, like no financial resources, but also no one really to support you emotionally. Losing your family like that is something that I don't wish on anybody. While I was living at Drumm, I started working at Community America shortly after I graduated in June 2022. I started off working in a branch as a personal banker, and I moved my way up, and now I'm currently working in our Lenexa corporate office as a marketing coordinator for Community America under Wealth Management Marketing for Copper Financial, our wholly owned subsidiary broker-dealer. I learned that our well-being team does free financial coaching, and that they put on financial presentations for some similar organizations. So I got really interested in that, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I reached out to them and I talked to them and coordinated with them about how we could put on financial presentations for Drumm Farm. But we wanted things to be more tailored for Drumm Farm as well, for the residents, and to have presentations that actually interest them. because financial literacy is really important, but not everyone is going to immediately understand how it's going to impact their life. So that was something really important that we talked about when we were creating the presentations, was how we could tailor them so that we would capture their interest and help them understand how this could apply to their everyday life. We were able to tailor those messages to be specific for the Drumm residents. And so yeah, we did 5 weeks of financial literacy presentations. We covered a lot of really great topics, but I would say that if Drumm hadn't taken a chance on me, I don't know where I would be today. It was really just somebody being able to give me that second chance and give me that fresh start that made me change the way I view myself, made me feel like my goals were attainable. Before Drumm, I was at a point in my life where I really didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I thought there was no hope for me, and that's just something that I hope nobody has to feel.
My name's Lacey Kuiper. I was in the Compass program. I lived at Duval, and I've been out of the program for a year, today even, and I was here for a year and 4 months. I have a little baby, and she's amazing, and she's way above. She's only 2 weeks actual, and she's hit all of her 2-month milestones besides one. I had her at 33 weeks. She was 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and 17 inches long. So she was in the 90th percentile. I plan to get my CPA license. Should be graduating with my associates in the year. I love the disability support that MCC has. I know I'm gonna miss it when I go outside into bigger college. I'm looking currently at going to WGU. That way I can stay home all the time and take care of my little girl. I'm looking at maybe doing financial forensics, where I kind of study more of the white-collar crimes and help people with kind of like the FBI, but I do more of the financial stuff and get to go through people's finances. If you see into my brain, it's always numbers, always money, things like that. I love it. I love to do percents. Drumm is more than just housing. They offer toiletries, they offer food, they offer more than just a building and a shelter. They also offer love and support when needed for us. We might not always want to take it because we're teens, but it was definitely there, and a lot of us were struggling to figure out how we're gonna pay our bills, how we're gonna learn to do this, how we're gonna budget, where we're gonna get toilet paper from, or something like that. It might be 3 a.m. and you need to call your caseworker and be like, hey, I ran out of toilet paper or something. And I know there was a few people where that did happen. And so being able to have them be able to provide that on top of the housing and the support emotionally, it was very nice. It gives people an opportunity to keep going. I know a lot of people, we were at our lowest right before Drumm, and even going into Drumm, we were at our lowest because this is so new. Are we making the right decisions? We're signing leases, we're signing contracts we've never signed before. Is this something that at my age I should be doing? Am I making the good choices? Because I know a lot of people were at their lowest lows in the program in the beginning, and there was a lot of talk of people wanting to not continue with life, and so Drumm was able to give them kind of like an extra life and be like, hey, you matter at the end of the day. You are still worth something. Come be a part of this program and we'll help you get back on a good path of life to show you that your life isn't always youth homelessness. Your life can be family, it can be being successful in a career, college, it can be whatever you want to make it, but it doesn't have to end here.
And we're proud of the success stories. We're proud of the youth who have successfully moved on from Drumm, who can always call home anytime they need. And we're proud of the supportive community that allows this important work to continue. But there's so much work left to be done in combating youth homelessness and supporting children in foster care. And we could not be more thrilled to take on that challenge with each and every supporter by our side.